nice to anyone who's watching what you're telling. Okay. All right. You better be cautious because it's time for Rob Noxious.
Give it up for Lawrence one more time. What a creepy but sexy, creepy kind of dude. Very sexy. Well, about me, I'm not from Texas, so when I say I like black people, I mean it. I'm actually from Los Angeles. Living in Los Angeles, we have earthquakes a lot. People from other states will call me, like, "Oh my God, are you okay? There was an earthquake." I slept through it. Like, it's not a big deal. But they have natural disasters other places. I'm terrified of tornadoes and hurricanes. But I realized you can't avoid the natural disasters. Like, if you live on the East Coast, you got the hurricanes, you got the tornadoes in the Midwest. California, you got earthquakes. And in Utah, you got Mormons. I'm kidding, I don't have a beef with Mormons, but you know, have you ever noticed, maybe not here, but in California, they come knocking on your door trying to recruit you. They always send them in pairs. And I realized later that's for safety. You know, because they realize if they only send one, 3 beers into it, that fucker will smoke all your pot and be doing lines with the fucking strippers at the local club. So I grew up in Los Angeles. I got out of the army when I was 21 and I started digging ditches. I was digging ditches in Los Angeles as a laborer. I was the only white guy on an all-Mexican crew digging sewer ditches in an all-Mexican city, which was very humbling when you first get out of the army, which is great. I learned a little bit of Spanish. I was worried about the women and children. I'd be in that deep hole. I'd be like, "Hey, how do you say back up in Spanish?" He taught me, you know. So I'd be like, "Hey, a la verga." You know, I found out later that that was a union job. And you know, they had to have one white guy on the crew to get the contract. So I used my white privilege. I didn't know how to use it back then. But some white people will deny that white privilege is real. I'm here to tell you, you know, yeah, if you're a redneck, a little bit white trashy, it does not apply to you. But if you're like me, clean cut, good looking, well spoken, you know, white dude, it's real. And it's not only real, it's worse than you even imagine. Like the other day, a cop pulled me over. I was speeding. I was a little bit drunk, but he was cool. So I let him off with a warning. A lot of controversy with the border and Mexicans and immigration these days. I mean, let's be honest, it's the Mexicans. They're not putting a wall in Canada, eh? But, so I just want you guys to know, if you're Mexican here, we love Mexicans down in this area. It's very rich Mexican culture. You know, we don't have a beef with you. In fact, the only people who are racist against Mexicans down here are Mexicans. Seriously. And us, the rest of us, we respect you. You know, the Alamo, you kicked our ass, man. What are you gonna lie? But I wasn't there, but I'm a bit of a historian, so, you know, I can tell you they were probably caught off guard, you know, because when they saw the Mexicans come over the border, they probably thought they were pouring concrete that day. Yeah. You're Mexican. You look like you're the first Amish Mexican I've ever seen in my life. Amish guy right here. Where's your hat? Anyway, so if you are racist against Mexicans, seriously, or in this area, and this year, I just want to tell you, you've never tried panocha. Yeah, if you've ever tried panocha, you would never be racist against Mexicans. Panocha is awesome. It's a delicacy. Like a lot of people who have never tried panocha don't understand. You can't just go get it anywhere. You got to go to an authentic Mexican restaurant, and it will never be on the menu because it's a secret. So if you go down there, you got to be like, "Hey," you got to get the waitress's attention, give her the secret wink, and they say, "I'd like to try that panocha." And if you don't know what it is, just description, it doesn't really translate straight across. It's the best description is it's like a sweet and zesty fish taco. Thank you.
All right, let's hear it again for Rob Noxious.